Viewers all over the world, I welcome you all into this section of philosophy and life. We have with us here an ordinary evangelist, so you are highly welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Ogbuefi Eze-Ana Ugochi tubelu Oraifite. Abụ m onye isi nchụaja na Ugochi tubelu ọdịnala temple. Anyị na-agba afa miri emi lụkwazị ọrụ mmụọ dị iche iche. Yeah, abụkwazị m onye isi nchụaja na ọdịnala Restoration Evangelical Mission. You can call me a priest or ọdịnala evangelist. I will answer. Ma ọ kpọọ m an ancient high priest. My mission is to help people live better life. Thank you.
So, sir, before we proceed with today's question, is there anything else we wish to say to our viewers?
Viewers all over the world, as you are hearing my voice, keep sharing it, keep telling people about our administrations.
So, you are appealing for support in building a place of worship for Chukwokike Primihenile. Don't you think this might be misunderstood or not welcomed by some people?
Yes, I understand. Naturally, there is nothing on earth you will be doing and you expect everybody to key in. Yes, it does not start today. I remember even during the time of Jesus in the Bible, not everybody believed in supporting what he's doing. Even when he called for offering, some people had much money, but they just brought a little, very little, that is not impressed. But there is this particular woman, a widow's mite, that gave almost all she has, and he recognized her by praising her for giving with her sentiments. So naturally, some people will criticize anything new that they don't understand. Some of them are not even criticizing it because of hate, but because of lack of understanding the benefit. And if I have opportunity to sit down with the person one-on-one and make valid point, the person will understand that it's always better to give. So what I can tell you that not everybody will understand the benefit of having opportunity to contribute in a project like building the place of worship. I remember when I was still seeking, when I was searching during my days of awakening, I was opportune to travel even to India to follow them to temples and make some research while searching, striving for the truth. Even in Nigeria, I can tell you that I'm happy to tell you that I contributed money in building some of the temples here in Nigeria. I don't want to mention name, but when I was in other religious sects and groups, yes, I was opportune. Even when they are building temple in Abuja, I contributed money. So what I can and I'm happy that even for the fact that I'm no longer with the sect now, I believe that whenever somebody with good longing enter that temple and pray, that I will see benefit. So it's an opportunity, or not everybody that is permitted to contribute towards building something like this. David wanted to build a place of worship, build a temple, but he was never permitted. It's his son, Solomon, that later built one. So this message was given to me to make it public, that there is this choosing people that they will be compelled to contribute towards making it a reality, because by so doing they will be able to pay their karma. But for those people that are not called, they might not even see the meaning or the benefit of contributing, because originally they are not selected among the choosing people to contribute towards building that place of worship. Thank you.
Sir, do you think some people may see this appeal as an imitation of Christianity, since asking for support is commonly practiced in churches?
Yeah, thank you for this question. It's because they don't understand how things work. Some of them have little idea of how things work in creation. I can tell you, appealing to support in a large vision like this for the common goal of all is always a norm across all board in modern society. Go it in even if in abroad, go everywhere, you see appealing. So appealing is not everybody that we be compelled to contribute. So, but those spirits yearning for the truth, those spirits that yearning for such opportunity, there is some people from creation, they have this spark of light in them that always yearning for them to contribute whenever this kind of opportunity is presented, because it's in their spiritual DNA for them to see this kind of opportunity and contribute, by so doing paying for their karma, by so doing contributing towards building place of worship. So this part of message is not actually for all, but normally I was directed to make it public so that those people that are meant to be to contribute will actually see that opportunity to harness and contribute what will give them perpetual blessings. Thank you.
Can you share with us the greater version you have for Ndibo in promoting and advancing Igbo spirituality?
Yeah, thank you. The vision I had. Remember, I started spirituality when I was so small. And I had the opportunity to have read vast. I have read so many spiritual books in preparation. When I was growing up, I don't even know that I have been prepared for future. When I was, let me start from Catholics. When I was a Catholic, I was opportune to experience so many teachings in the Catholic Church. I used to be a member of Religion of Mary, Catholic Charismatic, Renewal, Bible Society, Blue Army, Confraternity of the Most Holy Rosary, St. Anthony of Padua, Purgatorian Society, and so many. When I was even Brocosary, when I was doing all this, I keep searching. There is this yearning in my soul to keep searching, striving for the light. During the time of opportunity to study philosophy, I read so many books, both Vatican I, Vatican II, canon law, and rest of that. I remember even when I was under 20, I was among the people that used to hold program on All Hallows Seminary called Amadan TV Council. So I began so early in searching for spirituality. Now, after that, my particular experience, I read so many other spiritual books during my experiences in esoteric. I read so many books like Lion of Africa, The Heaven Opens, In the Light of the Truth. I read so many spiritual books I will not start mentioning now. I read Buddha, I read Muhammad, I read so many. Yes, all those things. And even later, I traveled to India. I followed them to the temple and rest of them. There's so many research in comparison of how they worship Chukwu Okike and how we worship Chukwu in this part of the world. So all those things is getting me prepared for this mission. So in 2018, when I was asked to go into Igbo spirituality, after my research, currently as we speak, I'm writing I think 2 books now in Igbo spirituality. Now, before then, I was told that my calling, that is my time for starting my work, is here. So I have to come down from Abuja. I was doing very well when I was in Abuja. I have to come down to establish Igbo spirituality, known as Ogbuefi and Ugochitwu temple. Now, meanwhile, before that, I'm not that your normal Dibia. That Dibia you are seeing. No, they are familiar with. Yes, because of all the experiences I have gathered and the exposure and the spiritual content. Now, before that, I was told that I'm a priest and not an evangelist. That's why I have so many things. I have established so many things that is very unique. If you are following my teaching since year 2018 till date, you will see this uniqueness in the way and the approach I use. Very unique in my own way, because I know where I'm going. So I have this large vision and method of propagating Igbo spirituality and also to help Igbos. We have this vision to build this place of worship. And our large vision is that we will propagate Igbo spirituality and develop research institute where we develop our hearts, because Obrona I didn't do, I can wiki achieve so many things. So our intention is to build a research institute where we can get some certain natural herbs, organic herbs, and the roots for the well-being of our people. And our intention, and before we can be able to do all these things and have the propagating arm, because we believe that our Igbo brothers and Africa in general, if they can be conscious and change their way of life and understand how things work, our moral value will be restored. That's why we have the evangelical arm. Yes, in the form of using Ezioku TV as a platform and using our social media platform as a platforms. Now we want to build a place of worship where we can be always have worship opportunity to worship and also gather some spiritual strength to forge ahead, because there is nothing we can do apart from him. We can do nothing. So we are building the place of worship first, then and the other things we follow, like building the research institute and building the publication for other research works, and also hospital. We have all these things in mind, including evangelical arm. Yes. So, and we already started. Note that my platform is the only platform that has ordinary television in satellite, and we have spent millions of naira all this almost 2 years now. We started it. So we are prepared to take Igbo spirituality to create consciousness and awakening among the Igbo race, for them to discover their true self. Because ndị Igbo bụ mba dị nsọ, ndị Chineke họtara onwe ha. So we cannot afford to live reckless lifestyle the world has do. So we are trying to build place of worship because we need to be sustaining our spiritual strength while diving into other areas of evangelism and taking care of the health and creating more jobs. To interest you to know, in Igbochi to other temples, we have created businesses so that we'll be able to get some people employed. Thank you.
In what way do you believe this vision will benefit Igbo, both spiritually and materially?
Thank you for that question. We understand, because every called one has a reason and a mission why the person was called. To me, I was called to reawaken the Igbo consciousness. For Ndi Igbo and the Africa in general, to discover our true selves, that we are choosing people. We cannot afford to bastardize Ihai. Our moral values have gone so low. So one of my calling is to evangelize, to remind the Igbo race and Africa in general that we are special to the people of God. So, and also to doing this, we need to be healthy. That's why we have already built so many things. Currently, as we speak, we have a company. We started little by little. We are growing, at least so that we can get few people employed. And we are already into poultry farming, and also we have intention to build a research institute where we can be harnessing all the natural gift of leaves, herbs, and natural endowment scattered all over Igbo land, to put them and utilize them as a medicine, so that our forefathers, our people, will be strong. Because our forefathers, before the advent of this orthodox medicine, maybe 200, 300 years ago, our people have been living. Our forefathers lived by harnessing the benefit of herbs and the vegetables and rest of them, the way of living. So, but our people have abandoned that. So we want to recover it back. Then go into research so that people will know, because I believe that whatever sickness people, any race is suffering, how to deal with that sickness is in their place. So we are trying to call Igbos back, to go back to nature, because it's only by living aright we'll be able to discover what we have lost. Then benefit materially. I understand that a lot of Nigerians are dying carelessly. A lot of people are spending huge amount of money, taking their loved ones to India, all over the world in search of health, because health is wealth. But we believe that by building this research institute, we'll be able to produce so many medicine of our organic medicine that will help our people in modern ways. Then again, materially, we are not leaving any stone unturned. Materially, we are building a business consciousness so that our youth will have something doing. We propagate, we lead by example as we speak. I'm one of the first DBS that opened a company, a business where you can get some people employed. Not necessarily the way many people are rushing into building hotel. I'm not into that. Instead, I go into a company that will be add to the economic benefit of the society at large. So what I'm saying that our vision will help to train so many youths, to empower them, help create food, help create medicine, help create knowledge, and at the same time mold the life and the behavior, moral behavior our people. So by so doing, we'll be able to contribute towards taking our spiritual lifestyle to from point A to point B, and also making end meet by organizing training seminars and workshops to tell people what and what they should be doing in order to be successful here on earth. Because we discovered that why so many people use are idle nowadays, because they don't understand how things work. They don't understand that they cannot make it by playing bet Niger and the rest of them, because some of them are not properly mentored. Thank you.
Is this vision something you received as a divine mandate from Chukwokike? Or will some people say it is driven by the material interests?
Yes, thank you for that question. Like I told you, before I eventually answered my calling, I was already doing well in Abuja. Anybody that had been in Abuja in the last 10 years that is into um, computer, laptop, computer peripherals, and the rest of them that is in Abuja that doesn't know Noble Success Computers is a joke. That time, because I import my used laptop from US, yes, from US, and I do import my other computer peripherals from China, like chargers, mouse, USB, and rest of them, all those small things from China. So I was really doing very well. Yes, yes, to the glory of God. And when I was in Abuja, I live in my own house, so I was doing very well in that business. But when time comes in 2018, then I got this vision very clearly that it is time. I remember I told you in my previous interviews that the last 20 years, there's this a Yoruba woman where I took my sister to, because she's a Shia. So after attending to my sister, she looked towards my direction and told me, even you're a called one, that when time comes, everything will be le verbatim to you. I laughed over it because I wasn't interested in going into a spiritual thing as a called one full time, because I was into contract work then. I was into water drilling then, so I laughed over it. But many years down the line, between what the woman prophesied then began to manifest. So when I was in Abuja, the message came again that it's time for me to come down to the east, and there is so many things I need to do to save souls. So to cut the whole story short, I had this vision very clearly. I had the voice and I saw the vision very clearly, where I was told that originally that I'm called to be a priest by birth, that naturally I need to study Igbo spirituality to have large concept what is all about. Then after that, that I will be a spiritual head. I will help a lot of people to discover their true selves. And that in one of that particular meditation, I was shown a place of worship, this current place of worship you saw. Believe in me, this current place of worship was not concept I drew from anyone. I was told that I have been permitted to build this place of worship, a place that will be a fountain of grace, a place that will be a fountain where people will come and receive blessings, that will help people to change from point A to point B in better ways. So I was shown all these places. When immediately when I woke up, I began to draw the sketchy drawing of what I saw in the dream. And after that, I gave it to a friend of mine who happens to be my follower before he now develop it the way you are seeing it in the picture. And then our dream is to, and in that particular vision, every department was captured. Every department in Igbo spiritual setting, like anchorage of the light, like Ebado, like the Ebado Anyanwu na Eze-Ana. If you watch that structure, you will see that even the structure captured it, and so on and so forth. But if you like physically, you come down, I will take you around the concept of the structure, the way it is, and why the structure is look the way it looks. And again, you trace you to know that that structure you are seeing, the altar is facing the east. It's for a reason. Maybe some of you don't even know. So what I can tell you that particular vision is a vision, it's a divine mandate given to me. Originally, if you ask me, I didn't want to be called, but at this particular time, I cannot even run away with it because I know I have been severely dealt with for me to be where I am today. And I was severely dealt with in a way so that I will be able to and forcefully to come and answer my calling. So what I can tell you is that what actually driving me to answer my call is purely for the benefit of mankind. Because before I was born, I would already be destined to be a priest. And I was told in that day that I'm an ancient high priest, that my coming this time is to help people to discover their own path. That's why even from day one, people that have been following me from 2018 till date, we agree with you that the way and manner I teach, the way I do my own thing is quite different from ordinary Dibia you are seeing on social media. My system is always unique. I'm not always portraying myself as Dibia. Yeah, that's why you can't even see me anywhere with any on my eyes. No, I don't do that because I know, because I was called for a higher vibration. Yes. So my mission is actually to help Igbos to move to a higher vibrations. Yes, from the luminous light. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering that wonderful question. Sir, but don't you think there is a possibility that people may misunderstand your intentions, your purpose, and your vision as a whole?
Yeah, thank you. Naturally, in life, that is what is common. That is what makes people humans. Yes, let me use the story of Jesus in the Bible. When Jesus is a Messiah, yes, to his people, when he comes on, and not everybody understood him. So it's normal. So once you're on earth, there's no way everybody will have the same mindset, the same concept, the same belief, and same understanding. So those people that are still operating in lower vibrations, lower visions, they can criticize you. But for me, anybody that knows me, that I can never boast. Criticizing me will never even stop me. Once I set a goal, because I know I have the divine mandate, people that stood by me, the forces that asked me to go, there are multitude, there are many, more than those people that doesn't really matter, those people that doesn't understand how things work in their shallow mind and opinion. Those things that I look over it, especially on Facebook, where you see unmatured people talking anyhow, what they don't understand. Instead of them to ask questions, they will open their mouth because maybe they have borrowed data and be talking anything. Those I ignore them because you can't please everybody. Even them that is criticizing, if they ask them, people will still criticize them. So what I learned in this world is that there's no way everybody will key into your vision, because they are not the people that will saw the vision with you. So there is definitely, they will not understand you, and for the fact they don't understand you, they can misunderstood you or maybe give you a wrong interpretation. But who cares? What is important is that I know whom sent me, and for that reason I stood by him, and my mission is to help people live better life. That is my mission. Thank you.
So, considering the mindset of many within Eze-Ana, don't you think your first opposition might likely come from within the Eze-Ana community itself?
Yes, thank you for that question. Yes, I understand Eze-Ana people very well. Most of them are coming from most of them actually what they are practicing is the biased mind they got when they are in Christian and other religious sets. So some of them have this bitterness, and some of them they don't really understand how things work. They have this mindset that everything is that they thought they're always looking at everybody in the same level. Look, before I answered my call, I had been very successful. Very successful. So I came to Eze-Ana is not because of material thing and whatever. However, everybody that knows me, all the festival I have been doing is not meant for money. If you have been following me all these years, all the festival I have been doing, both the Lord Feast, December 1st, and the Iriji, you can't see me start maybe dancing for people to give me money. It's always a way of saraka. You understand? So I'm not a type that we believe that people will give me money. No, because I'm already had to go me money for okay. So what am I saying in essence is that no Eze-Ana have this negative mindset that Nandibo na money is nothing. So no Eze-Ana more do the importance of propagating what they believe in. No Eze-Ana, some of them are too stingy, believing that we should still be living in the thatch house. Some of them don't even know that we are living in 21st century. So I would still beat my chest that Eze-Ana Ugochitubel is the first Eze-Ana person to be spending millions of naira. Yes, to have spent millions of naira almost the last 2 years to maintain Ezioku TV. Is a satellite television. Yes, all this while. And with that television, I have reached to many souls, even off social media. Yes, so propagating all this is I'm doing it because I'm already mandated from my calling that I'm an evangelist. So anything that will make me to keep evangelizing, I will keep doing it, no matter what I spent in doing so. So for other people, some other people don't even believe that there is need to spend money in propagating Igbo spirituality. Let me tell you an example. Let me tell you what you understand. Even some mushroom churches that is under one warehouse or whatever, maybe they have 100 members, they will have time to go to radio station, buy airtime, and be talking on radio station because they know the importance of evangelism. But ordinary people will not do it. They will see it as waste of money. And let me tell you what will shock you. Even those small congregation of this ministry that has airtime on radio station, the money they are using to do it is from their members because they know the importance of evangelism. Some of them do morning crying, fuel their vehicle, fuel their cars, fuel their machine to go and evangelize. They know the importance of spending money for evangelism. But ordinary people, they don't understand it. So if you are telling ordinary person to invest in evangelism, they will see it as odd because they don't see the vision. So for me, I have seen it because I have been calling by higher entities. I know why I was called, and where I'm operating, I am operating in higher vibration. So I'm not expecting people that are new in Eze-Ana or people that doesn't have the vision to understand where I'm going or the impact I'm making. But what I can tell you is that I'm not looking at this mindset of some newcomers on Eze-Ana or even old people that refuse to embrace renewal or change, that they still want Eze-Ana to be operating under the shanties or those under the trees, that is not seeing the larger vision that Eze-Ana worship should have a decent place of worship that suit the modern day reality. Some of them don't see it that way. So even if you are telling them that it's important to build a modern place of worship for Chukwuoke, they are not seeing it. They will be seeing it in the vision of where they came from, maybe Christianity. They will be seeing it that you're emulating Christianity. I can tell you, nobody is emulating anybody. In life you are seeing, yes, in life you are seeing, there is a reason for everything. It's only in Igbo spirituality that people still want to be lagging behind, staying in shanties and the name of shrines, and they look very dirty and unkept. When I was in India, I took my time to visit some their temples very neat and conducive. Yes, very neat and conducive. Have you some of them that he criticizing me have not even entered any temple in the world? Enter any temple in the world, you will see how clean, neat, and superb, classy. So some of them are still believing that Igbo spirituality should still be lacking behind the way we are sitting in the thatch house of the ancient time. So I'm here, I'm a reformer, I'm here to make changes. I'm here to take our people from point A to point B in higher vibrations. Thank you.
Viewers all over the world, we have come to an end of today's edition of Philosophy and Life. If you have any question based on today's teaching, kindly drop it on the comment section or DM Ogbuefi Eze-Ana with the WhatsApp number showing on your screen right now. For more inquiries and deep consultation, Alpha, you can still DM him with the same number. Ogbuefi is not having you here today. Thank you for your time. Before we go, any advice for our viewers?
Viewers all over the world, we are calling upon you to ask questions when you don't understand our vision with humility. I bet you will keep explaining so that many will understand our vision and our aims. But if you don't understand how things work and you bent on criticism, it will not help you anyway. Instead, you are entangling yourself, because you cannot destroy what you cannot create. This is a divine mandate. This is a divine mission. It's either you key in or you'll be pushed out. Thank you.